Candace Murray.
These are all the blessings that will come to you and stay close to you because you obey Yahweh, your Elohim. Obey, listen to the voice of the Lord your God, so that all these blessings will come and stay with overtake you. And all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, if you obey the voice of the Lord your God. If you obey the Lord your God, he will bless you in very many ways.
Hi, this is Candace Murray, where you come to be motivated and to walk in the light of Jesus. I have a message today that is as powerful as it is urgent. A message that will bring forth the abundant blessings that God has in store for his people. I want you to understand that the obedience to the voice of God is not just a matter of following rules. It's about positioning yourself for favor. It's about aligning your heart and actions with the will of God so that he can pour out his blessings upon you in ways that will surpass all your expectations. Deuteronomy 28 verse 1 through 6 declares, "If you listen obediently to the voice of God, your God, our God, and heartily obey all his commandments that I command you today, God, your God, will place you on high above all the nations of the world. All these blessings will come down on you and spread out beyond you because you have responded to the voice of God, your God." These verses are not just ancient words. They are a promise for you and me today. If we listen, if we obey, God will bless us, and he will bless us abundantly. God's voice is powerful, and when we hear it, we are called not to just listen, but to obey. Obedience is the key that opens the floodgates of heaven. It's not a passive act, it's an active, heartful response to God's commands. If you listen obediently to the voice of God, your God, the word obediently here speaks to an attentiveness and a willingness to follow God's guide. God doesn't want reluctant followers. He wants those whose hearts are ready to heed his call. God promises that when we respond to his voice with action, we position ourselves to be placed on high above all the nations of the world. This is a promise of elevation, not just in status, but in spiritual authority and favor. This is not just about earthly success. This is about spiritual positioning. Obeying God sets us apart. It elevates us in ways that the world cannot comprehend. When you obey, you step into a realm where God's blessings can flow unimpeded. But here's the good news. Obedience brings blessings. Notice that God doesn't just promise a trickle of blessing. He promises an outpouring. The scripture says all these blessings will come down on you and spread out beyond you. It doesn't just come to you. It overflows and touches everyone around you. God's blessings are not limited to just one area of your life. His blessings are comprehensive. They cover your family, your work, your finances, your businesses, your relationships, your health. You will be blessed in the city and you'll be blessed in the country. Let me break this down for you. God blessings on your children. Your family will be marked with favor. Your children will grow in wisdom and health and purpose. God's blessings on the crops of your land. Your work, your labor will yield fruit. Whatever you put your hand to will prosper. God's blessing on your livestock, your resources, your investments, your assessments. Everything you own will be blessed. God's blessing on baskets and bread bowls. You lack nothing. You will have abundance, not just to sustain, but to bless others. God blessings in your coming in and going out. No matter where you are, God's favor will be with you. Whether you're at home, at work, at your business, or at a marketplace, no matter where you're at. This is the blessing of obedience. It's a holistic blessing, touching every part of your life. It's not a one-time event. It's a continuous flow of favor that surrounds you. Now, it begins with a heart of surrender. We must be willing to listen, truly listen to the voice of God, not just when it's convenient or comfortable, but in every moment. We must align ourselves with his word, his will, and his timing. This means we must choose daily to follow his commands, even when the world tells us to do otherwise. It's not always easy. But let me tell you this, obedience may require sacrifice, but it always brings reward. Obedience to God positions us to receive the blessing that He has already prepared for us. So remember, God's promise is not at distance. It's not far off. It's not a far off dream. It's a present reality for those who will listen and obey. If you want to experience the fullness of God's blessings, it starts with obedience. Tune your ears to hear God's voice. Hear Him calling you to a life of obedience. Know that when you do, He will elevate you. He will bless you, and He will cause His favor to overflow in every area of your life. It's time to walk in obedience. God's blessings and abundance are about to rain down upon us today and every day. Claim it, receive it, believe it, expect it.